Welcome back to my channel, Invest for Income. And so here's an update on my portfolio. As you guys can see, we're at $293,801. And so, as I mentioned before, I did receive a loan that I was waiting for, $10,000 from my bank and another $10,000 from a credit card. And so, yeah, I'm just waiting for another $5,000 that I will be investing into the market. So if you see this number, not all of this is my money. Some of it is mine. Some of it belongs to Robinhood. And some of it is debt from my bank and a credit card. So none of this is financial advice. It is risky to take on loans to buy more stocks or more ETFs that pay dividends. But let's take a look at just how much I have increased my dividends. As you guys can see, we're at $66,850.84 on an annual basis in dividends. And on the monthly, we're at $5,570.90. And so I was waiting for some buys to go through, and I think they all finally went through. So if we go to my actual portfolio here in Robinhood, because I use Robinhood, if we go down here, well, to the top up here, we'll see that I have one pending order to buy ULTY. Okay, the other pending orders that I had on my previous video were PLTY and NVDY, which both went through. I think NVDY went through today, and PLTY also today. So I own more of those two ETFs. And here's my portfolio value here on Robinhood. As you can see, we're in the red, whereas on my dividend tracker, we're in the green. But this is the real portfolio, so this is the one that counts, and we are in the red today. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about something called seasonality. You may have heard about this, but there are certain months that are considered or have been calculated to be good for the stock market, the S&P 500, and some months that are not so good. So according to this statistic, I guess, over the past 10 years, the best months for the S&P 500 have been March, April, May, July, October, November, and December. The worst months for the S&P 500 is usually January, June, August, and September. So we are in one of those months. We're in August, and I guess September is also going to be typically a bad month for the S&P 500. I believe it also shows the NASDAQ here. Up here, I believe. Yeah, here we are. Oh no, that's not it. Sorry. Okay, I guess it doesn't show the NASDAQ one. But yeah, this is a seasonality chart. So the seasonal pattern of the S&P 500. And so those are the months that are the worst months for the S&P 500 and the best months for the S&P 500. So if you're wondering why there's been more red than green during the month of August, it's probably because of this seasonality. And I guess September is probably going to be somewhat similar to this month. So let's keep that in mind. And also, let's look here. Although this says that greed is at 62 points. So we're still in greed, and which is good. We're up 3 points. Because during normal market hours, the market was up for the most part. But then here at the end, it just kind of dropped off. And now we're in the red. And so another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is my purchase of ULTY. So I have an order here to buy some ULTY, 37 shares of ULTY. And if we go and look at ULTY, it's pretty much right here, down here. So I put in my buy order for $5.41, which would be $1 down from my average cost. And so as you guys can see, I am in the red, or on total return, I'm in the red for $1,731.35. But of course, after adding up all of my dividends, my dividends that I've received come out to about close to $1,200. So I'm about $200 in the red, actually, in reality. But since I have not reinvested any dividends, and since I haven't done that, uh, it says that I'm down $1,731.35. So if I had been reinvesting dividends, I'd probably be down less. But that's okay. I don't mind. So I'm currently in the red about, if we include dividends, I'm currently in the red about maybe a little bit over $200 on ULTY or on ULTY. And so at some point, I will have to begin to reinvest some amount of dividends. And so after doing some calculations and some math, I've decided to reinvest 1 week's worth of dividends. So ULTY pays every week, every Friday. So I guess the last monthly payment on a Friday, that's the one I'm going to decide to reinvest. And so that's why I have this buy order for ULTY down here. Let's see, right here for well, it's this one here, ULTY limit buy. It's about 37 shares. Let's just click on that. It's a limit buy at 541, 37 shares. And so this is going to be good for the next 90 days. And so will ULTY hit 541? Probably it will, because it just has been heading down further and further down. Now this here shows us the line chart of ULTY. So as you guys can see, it looks pretty bad. It doesn't look very good, because if you would have bought ULTY for $20.42 and never reinvested the dividends, you'd be deep in the red on this one. So let's just say that you did end up buying at 2042. Let's say that you bought $10,000 worth at 2042 divided by 20.42. You would have 489 shares. And let's say you didn't reinvest any dividends ever. And so now the value is $5.68, 5.68. Your $10,000 is now worth $2,781. Okay, so you've lost quite a bit of value there. Now, if you don't sell this, right, if you just hold on to it and don't sell it, you really don't take on that loss. The moment you sell it for a loss, then you take on the loss. But if you don't sell it for a loss, then you still own it. But of course, you're down. That's how much you would have in value if you would have bought it from inception, a $10,000 investment. So let's see just exactly how much you would have left, or you would have lost. You would have lost $7,218.41 in value. Okay, so let's just say that that's what was happening, and you sell it today. If you sell it today, you lose $7,218.41. If you don't sell it today or tomorrow or in a month or in 6 months from now or for the rest of the year or for years and years to come, you don't sell it, then you don't lose that money because you didn't sell it. But of course, the value continues to decrease. And so at some point, you must begin to reinvest dividends. And so I'm thinking that probably the best thing to do is to invest 1 week of dividends, which is on average about $200. So on average, once a month, I'm going to be buying $200 worth of ULTY to bring my average cost down and to have my dividends increase. So I assume that on average, I'll be buying about a little bit over 30 shares per month as the price goes down. Probably, who knows, maybe dividends will go down a little bit too because the price is going down. But that's how I'm going to do this moving forward, so that I can reduce my average cost and reduce the loss, which is just a paper loss because I haven't sold it. And so that's the way I'm going to be handling this ULTY for now. And so yeah, this here looks not very good, right? Because since the beginning, it's lost $14.74 per share, which is quite a bit of money. But of course, if we look at a total return on this ETF with dividends reinvested, if you would have bought it even at the beginning and reinvested all of the dividends consistently, how much would you have, right? And there's a way to do that. So the way to do that is to look it up on this dividend tracker, a dividend calculator. It's right here. So we're going to just do ULTY. Okay. Let's increase that so we can see it. And so as you guys see here, if you would have purchased ULTY when it first came out back in February of 2024, until today, or until the 25th of this month, 2025, a $10,000 investment with dividends reinvested would have turned into $11,484.59. So you would not be in the red. You would be in the green with a total return. So at some point with this ULTY, I must reinvest dividends to lower my average and increase the dividend payments. But the one thing I do want to continue with here is that I want to have just about a 5% position here in ULTY. Currently, it's a 4.62% position here in ULTY. So I want to maximize this to about 5% and no more than 5%. So what I'm thinking about is I'm buying $200 worth, or whatever one dividend per week gives me, the last dividend. I'm going to reinvest that completely until I reach 5%. Who knows? I may not reach 5%. I don't know. But I'm going to do that until I reach 5%. If I do reach 5%, then I'm going to stop doing it until it starts going back down in the percentage here. So that's with ULTY. And pretty much I am going to be doing the same thing with YMAX. Because I bought YMAX for $13.97 per share. And as you guys can see, I am in the red for $1,426.91. But after I added up all of the dividend payments that I received, I'm actually just about $300 in the red. So I figured that I'm going to do the same thing with this. This also pays on a weekly basis. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up using one of those weekly payments to invest and buy more. And so I have already done that. I have already bought more at today's low, because I always want to buy for a lower price. As you guys can see here, I bought $139.37, or 11 shares, because basically this is going to pay me $150 this week. So I'm basically taking that dividend and just using it now to buy more shares and lower my average cost. It did end up lowering my average cost by just like about 1 cent. But I mean, 1 cent is 1 cent. I was at $13.90. Actually, it lowered by 2 cents because I was at $13.99. And so yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing moving forward to reduce my average cost on these two ETFs and increase my dividend count to also increase dividend income. Also, I should be receiving an extra $5,000 to make a total of $20,000 of money that I'm going to invest here. And I also purchased with $5,000 of one of the loans that I received, GPQ. I purchased 90 shares of JEPQ, JP Morgan Exchange Traded Fund Trust, JP Morgan NASDAQ Equity Premium Income ETF. And so one of the reasons I purchased this ETF is because it tracks one of the major indexes, which is the NASDAQ. And if we look at the return here, as you can see, it's fairly in the green for the most part. It's up since inception, 11.28%. And so as I mentioned before, I'm going to try to concentrate heavily more moving forward on buying ETFs that track the two major indexes, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. The reason I want to do that is because the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 always come back from a crash, and they always go up and to the right. And so I want my portfolio to look like the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. And so if we look today, does my portfolio look like the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ? Let's take a look at the S&P 500 to compare it to my actual portfolio and see if it compares. See if it does look the same. So to do that, we're going to look at the S&P 500. And so as you guys can see, yeah, it went up for the day and then it came back down. Okay. And let's look at the NASDAQ. Fairly the same thing. It went up and then it came back down during the end of the day. And so if you look at my portfolio, something similar, somewhat similar, not exactly the same. But as you guys can see, it was in the green for the most part, almost all day long. A peak right here, and then down for the rest of the day. So I'm fairly close to tracking the S&P 500. And so I wanted to track closer to the S&P 500. And that's why I'm going to be buying more ETFs that track the S&P. So if you guys want to continue watching me grow my portfolio, grow my dividend income, and see just what happens with my portfolio moving forward, please do me a big favor, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate it. If you guys got any comments, any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. You guys have a great day. God bless. And thank you. Bye.